Okay, got Brother Chris's Jeep, the Edge Crusher here today. Gonna do front pads and rotors, rear pads and rotors. Okay, so how we're doing this is we're gonna rotate the tire. So we've already put the one in the rear and the front right here. Now, if you look at the rotor, the face of it looks nice, but there's a lot of rust in there. The pads, these pads, I heard a lot of squealing last night, so we're gonna take this all apart, clean it up nice. These sway bar end links right here, these noisy bastards, those are coming out. In the future, we're gonna be changing these shocks. See what's going on here. Let's go take a look at the back. These are annihilated, so see what kind of work it takes to get these bitches off. Hopefully it goes okay. Okay, one Steinjager quick disconnect. Rusted, corroded, noisy. I would say it's headed for the trash. Replaced by a Mopar stock sway bar end link. So we got rid of the rattly, noisy end links. This is the driver's side. We're in the process of starting a brake job, but I wanted to get rid of these crappy end links and hopefully get rid of a lot of the rattling noise in the front end when he goes over bumps. Okay, you can see the old shitty clips are out. Took the wire brush, cleaned out the tracks. I pulled the guide pins, they were good, thank goodness. Gonna goop them all up, reinstall them, and put the new pad guides in. You can see the brake grease in there. We got some anti-seize on the hub. The guides, these pins here have been lubricated, they're really nice. Got some anti-seize in there. We got some anti-seize on the piston of the caliper and on the back plate. So we'll get those pads, we'll put the adapter bracket on, then we'll put the rotor on, we'll put the adapter bracket on, and then we'll bring that caliper over. You can see the new pads all in there good. Coming out nice. I use a, now I can take this lug nut off. I use it to hold the rotor in place, but now we'll swing over that caliper. I already have it compressed and gooped up, and then we'll attach it to the guides. All right, one front driver's side rotor replaced, new pads, guides, pins, the whole 9 yards, all lubed up, looking good. Caliper adapter bracket bolts, torqued to 125 foot-pounds. Then these 13 millimeter head bolts right here, you just go hand tight on the upper and lower. And then I use a 15 millimeter wrench on the inside to hold it and stop it from turning. Very nice. Gonna shift gears now and come over to this piece of shit and see what we're up against over here. This looks pretty bad on this end, on the rear end. Wow, that's about as bad as you can get. It's interesting on these JKs that the rear pads, which are the smaller, the whole setup is smaller. These things just get annihilated, and I noticed it on my Jeep too. The fronts, which are larger, the pads are larger. You'd think there would be more braking on the front, but apparently it's the rear. So we'll get this adapter bracket off, and then the big trick will be trying to get this rotor off, which I'm sure has never been off. A little concerned about that. Inspect the e-brakes. He does have 5 clicks on the handle, which is good. So maybe we'll be lucky there, and the e-brakes are okay. We do have e-brake shoes and a kit. We'll see how it goes. Well, Chris, as you can see, these pads are completely gone, but more importantly, see these pins right here? They're frozen. I can't get either one of them. They're supposed to go in and out. So I'm going to try to pull these rubber grommets off carefully and heat these up. Maybe we can get it. I don't know. This is disturbing. So this is the first major problem that I've come across here. I had one of mine freeze up a while ago, and I was able to get it carefully with some heat. So we'll see what happens. Well, I wish I could say this was going good. I've been trying to get this hat off here for probably an hour. I got into the back and the star wheel. I completely undid it, but the shoes are so rusted inside the hat for the e-brake. So at this point, if I can somehow bang it off, it's probably just going to destroy the e-brakes. But I have new e-brake shoes in a kit, but I was hoping that wasn't going to be the case. The other big problem I have is these pins are completely rusted in place. There's no flexibility. I'm hoping I can heat them up and get them to move and save them, but very, very frustrating here. Big delay. This is what happens when you don't do regular maintenance. So you can see the shoe. I'm trying to get a screwdriver in there and pry it. The top shoes are really embedded in there. I'm having a really hard time, but I've made a little progress here, but unbelievable. Just to show you how bad this is and what I'm up against. I mean, if I could break the face of the rotor off all the way around and maybe get in there and try to push those shoes back and get them out of those grooves, but this is really disgusting. That's why you just cannot neglect your maintenance on these vehicles. You will pay. Someone will pay. All right, this is the first time in my life I've ever seen this happen. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this. Okay, now I can at least rotate this, get more oil in. Look at that. There you go. There's your freaking rotor. Man. Well, maybe. I don't know. I got to examine all of this and see if I'm going to change these shoes or what the hell I'm going to do. Get some brake cleaner, clean it all up, and examine it. Absolutely disgraceful. Both of these are completely rusted shut, frozen basically. I'm hoping some heat will free them and try to save these things. I don't know. I saved one on mine one time. Both of these are shot. Unbelievable. There it is. It's cooling. I got to sand all of that, clean it, get it nice. Probably take a drill bit and drill this thing out right here and get it nice and clean. Now I got to start putting heat on this one. I was hoping this one was going to be a little easier. Unfortunately, it's not. Looking at about 10 minutes of some pretty intense heat before I had some movement on the other one. Okay, there's your e-brake shoes. The shoes themselves look okay. When you look at the thickness, about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 3/16. There's really hardly any of a difference whatsoever. So as you know, I adjusted the star wheel from the backside counterclockwise to get it as loose as it can. So I gotta turn that star wheel right there clockwise and definitely dial it in, because right now the rotor just pops on real easy. So we got to kind of adjust that. But this is all cleaned up. I put a little lubricant here on the puller. This gets tugged when the e-brake cable pulls that way and expands the shoes. As I said, Chris has a spare kit, so maybe next time around we'll just figure we'll change these e-brakes. But it's a significant amount of work, And I really, if I saw something that was really bad, I'd change them, but everything looks pretty good. Happily, even though I had to bust my ass to get that rotor off, we got it. You can see I'm just turning the star wheel clockwise to expand the shoes. Also, if we look inside there, I'll take the screwdriver and point. There is your speed sensor right there. It runs on that tone ring, and then it plugs in right here. Happily, I've only had one of these go bad in a lot of years of wheeling. The front ones go bad all the time, but the rear ones seem to be pretty good. Anti-seize on the hub inside the rotor, new rotor. Little brake cleaner for some of the oil on the outside, although it doesn't appear as though there was any. I'm pretty impressed with these rotors. Some lube on the piston. The piston's been compressed. So now we got to go work on, let's go over here. I still can't believe this. Never seen anything like it. All right, I'm going to wire brush. These are the cap ends here that hold the rubber boots. This thing's still kind of warm. I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to put a lot of lubricant. I took a drill bit and cleaned these holes out. Got a lot of the rust and corrosion. And then the pins inside there, I'm going to sand them up and goop them and put these back together. So as of now, it looks like we saved this. And then obviously I got to put the pad guides. I got to press those in here as well. So a little more work with this steel brush. Not good. Passenger side, little, I don't know. I think they're both frozen on the fronts. Unbelievable, man. Bad. Okay. New guides are in. Took these apart, sanded them all up, lubricated them. You can see now that they do what they're supposed to do. So we'll put some brake lubricant in here. We still got to squeeze that piston shut right there. Put some anti-seize on the hub and we'll get to work. Also got to change out that Steinjager sway bar end link on this side, so that's coming out too. Passenger side sway bar end link installed. 70 foot-pounds on the bolts and nuts. Rotor's on, it's scooped. Got to put some brake lubricant in these guides, and then we'll get that adapter bracket on. Passenger front, adapter bracket on. Pins are great. New pad slides are installed. Pads look great. Piston's been compressed, gooped. We'll be swinging that over and tying that in. Front will be done. Oil looks pretty dirty. Glad we're changing it. I'll start draining that while I'm working on the pads. I just about got the front all set. I'm nervous about the back. The rears took me almost an hour and a half just to get the rotor off. I was fortunate enough to at least salvage the e-brake. Hopefully I can be lucky again and salvage the e-brake once again. Okay, a nice new filter. Chris went with Wicks. See that gasket right there? I used the pick tool, took the old one off, lubricated the new one, and put the new gasket on. So this here will thread right in there very carefully. You don't want to be Hercules on this one. You just go snug by hand. Okay, you just undo the two 10mm bolts, 4 clips right here. I just took the old air cleaner out. Obviously one side looked good. The other side was very gray and had pine needles in it. So there's the new one. I'm just gonna line everything up and clamp that all down. Okay, very bad. Both guide pins frozen in, rusted, don't move. Can't even get this freaking pad out, it's so rusted. Unbelievable. Worst I've ever seen. Okay, there you go. After an hour of hitting this thing with the sledgehammer, hopefully everything's okay. I gotta check this out here. I think it's okay, but we're gonna hit it with the brake cleaner, clean it all up, and I think the shoes on this side are even in better shape than the other one, thank God, but we gotta clean it up and evaluate. Okay. Wow. All right, bad rotor off. E-brakes salvaged. Adjusted them where they're kind of hard to put the rotors on now, which is what I like. Hopefully we'll have somewhere around 5 to 7 clicks. I got to put some goop on the piston here and get this all set. And now I got to head into the garage and heat up the adapter bracket. Both those guides are completely rusted in place, so hopefully I can get lucky and salvage them. Okay, once again, gonna try to salvage these. I sure hope so. Gonna hit this thing with the heat. I gotta free these pins, man. I gotta get these out. I gotta clean them out, get the corrosion out of them, lube them up. What a pain in the ass. Gotta do better on maintenance. This other one right there looks brutal. I just hope I can save them. This is the last one. Wow. All right, one out. Let that thing cool. Got to clean it up. Man, geez, that thing took like 15 minutes to get that thing out. All right. Hasn't exactly gone well, but you can see the new pad sitting there. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so it's time. It's time to bring this over, get that thing done, put this tire on, drop it down, torque these wheels. The adapter bracket's all torqued. Then we'll go season the pads and break them in a little bit on the rotors.